My heart is in.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's BoxingWave. Going to discuss Quigg, Martinez, and the Frampton Gonzalez fight in this video. Let's get the Quigg Martinez fight out of the way real quick, since the fight was real quick. I know I was totally wrong with the prediction. All right, totally wrong. This is probably the worst prediction I've made in 2015. It has to be. Was totally wrong. Quigg knocks Kiko Martinez out in 2 rounds, which is crazy because Martinez was his best fight. This is his first real step up, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. Well, he stopped him in 2 rounds. Okay, what I thought was going to happen, I thought Kiko Martinez was going to be too much for him. I mean, you know what? It's funny because in the first 2 rounds, leading to the point where Quigg lands the short uppercut in the second round, the fight was pretty much going like the way I predicted. Like a lot of people thought it was gonna go. Kiko Martinez came with the pressure. Um, Quigg was using the ring a lot more often than we've seen him. At least I've seen him in the past. Um, he was on his back foot the entire time, and he really didn't look comfortable to me. He really didn't. Okay, I thought eventually Martinez was going to get to him, get him against the rope, start working on him. Quigg was landing some shots here and there, but none of them really seemed to phase Kiko Martinez up until that uppercut came in the second round. Um, and then after that, it was a wrap. He drops Martinez. He was definitely hurt by it. He was definitely hurt. I don't think he was recovered by the time he got up. And then here comes the stoppage, okay? Now, I see a few people arguing. I ain't gonna lie. I first thought when I first saw it, um, the stoppage came where it was a 10 count. Kiko Martinez did get up on time, but the referee called it off right away. Okay, he didn't really get a chance to look at his face or anything. As soon as he got up, the ref just called it off. I really have nothing against that. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no problem with it because I feel that the ref could have stopped it before that, before the knockdown, because Martinez really wasn't fighting back, and Quigg was just wailing on him, and Martinez really didn't have nothing in return after he got back up from the first knockdown. All right, so I really don't have any problem with the stoppage. Quigg caught him with a good shot. He didn't see it coming. You know what? Quigg really wasn't throwing much anyway. And I think Kiko Martinez just got a little too reckless and got caught with a good shot, and he lost the fight. I mean, it's a great performance with Quigg. He knocked a guy down that gave Frampton two tough fights. All right, two tough fights. And a lot of people, I know Quigg was the favorite to win this fight, but a lot of people felt Martinez. And even when I've talked about this fight in the past, a lot of people felt that Martinez would beat Sky Quigg. All right, so it was a great performance. It is a bigger height. It kind of builds the fight with Frampton and Quigg up a lot more now because Sky Quigg finally beat somebody that's really good. You know what I'm saying? So moving on. So we got Frampton against Gonzalez on PBC. This was Frampton's debut in the United States. He's on PBC. He's on national television here, and it was a good fight. I've never seen a boring Frampton fight. It was a good fight. It didn't exactly go the way that we expected it to go, but it made it a very competitive, exciting fight. It was definitely an exciting fight. I seen Scott Quigg complaining. He got dropped twice in the first round. I seen him complaining. He was talking about the weight and how much weight he had to drain. Listen, you watch the fight. It's clearly we see what happened. Okay, Scott Quigg. I'm sorry. Frampton thought he was gonna go in there and knock this guy out. Okay, this guy Gonzalez, very good boxer. He's a pretty good boxer. You know what? And I think he'd be a tough fight for anyone at 122. Honestly. Okay, this guy. Frampton came in there in the first round. Wasn't really being technical. Wasn't really using his fundamentals. Thought he was just going to walk through this guy and knock him out. was fighting very flat-footed. A guy that's known to use the ring very, very, very well. Was just walking forward, being flat-footed, thinking he's gonna knock this guy out, and he got dropped twice. I think the first shot was by a jab. I think the second one was by a hook. They trade hooks, and he left himself wide open, and he got caught with a good shot. Okay, and you know what? The fight was competitive all the way through, regardless of what the commentary was saying. I thought Gonzalez won. I want to say he won about at least 4 rounds in that fight. I really think Gonzalez gave him a good fight, and even the fights that even the rounds that Frampton won, he didn't completely dominate this guy. All right, I think it was a very competitive fight. Frampton did win the fight without a doubt, but this guy gave him a good fight. And I think the problem was, once Frampton put on that wide stance and started working behind the jab, it was a different fight. Okay, he fought a strategic fight. He made the adjustments, and he won the rounds after that. He was hitting him with clear, crisp shots. I mean, Frampton was giving him some good shots, but this guy was using his height early. Using his height, his range, his reach, and he was landing some good left hooks in there. He was using his jab. The guy was definitely giving Frampton some problems early, and even like maybe a little later in the fight with Frampton, I think he got a little careless again, and I thought Gonzalez won or came close to winning a couple of those rounds later in the fight. Okay, but Frampton did his thing. He made the adjustments. He won the fight. It was a very exciting fight. I don't think this is like, I know Quigg gets a big knockout the same day, where Frampton gets dropped twice for the first time in his career. And I know people saying, oh, maybe Frampton can't beat Quigg. And I still think Frampton could beat Quigg, but it makes the fight a bigger fight now. You know why? Because all of this happened on the same day, and it helps the build up of the fight. I wonder where they're going to have to fight now. I'm pretty sure they're going to fight out in, either Ireland or somewhere in the UK. They're very hyped, very interested to see that fight at this point. But, Frampton did what he had to do. I don't think we should frown upon him. The guy made adjustments. He had a tough fight against a tough challenger, a guy that we just all slept on. And he clearly has skills. The guy clearly has skills. He was going to the body good with Frampton. But Frampton did his thing. Frampton was hitting him with shots all over, and he fought a very strategic fight, and he came back and got the victory. He did what he had to do. He made the adjustments, and that's what makes a really good fighter. I still think Frampton is the best in the division outside of Rigondeaux, obviously, but I think he's still better than Quigg, and I still think he's better than Leo Santa Cruz. But Quigg definitely stepped up, and I can't wait to see that fight. I'm definitely waiting. I would love for either one of them to fight Rigondeaux too, but I definitely think the Quigg and Frampton fight should happen first before we start talking about Rigo and stuff. And Santa Cruz, he's fighting Mares, but Santa Cruz should at least fought one of the three of them by now. There's no excuses for him. I think he's the biggest ducker in the game right now. But that's a different story, right? So, that's my post-fight review. Good fights yesterday. Totally wrong in the prediction, but, hey, it happens. He got hit with a good shot. No excuses. Kiko Martinez got knocked out. It is what it is. All right? See you on the next one.